क्रैश कवर कहाँ मिली?
सर संडे सुबह 8 बजे एट खारगर।
विक्टिम पूजा चौधरी, उम्र 29 साल।
Hi Prachi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, so nice to meet you and thank you so much for joining
You
us.
too. Yes, thank you.
And congratulations on Silence. Can you hear it? So
Thank
everything
you.
we've seen so far looks really intriguing. Let me start off by asking you something that, you're playing a cop in the movie, right? So we've seen you try a whole variety of different things, in movies so far. But, how different was the experience of playing a cop? And, obviously, how much did your approach vary, for this movie and approaching a character which is like basically seated in heroism and because cops are something like people look up to and yeah.
Sure. I think the thought of playing a cop in itself was very, very exciting for me to start with. So the idea of seeing myself in that uniform on screen, I think first of all, I thought that was a huge responsibility because you don't want to get anything wrong that may not look real on screen. And more than that, I think that before you really go on set and you're preparing for the role, there is so much that you think of, and it feels like it's never going to end. Like your preparation for it can never end. But the minute you go on set, you just become that person, and it's the most amazing feeling. Like, I think by the third day, I will speak for myself, and I think it is like that for most actors also. By the third day, you just start feeling so comfortable as that person in that role. And whether it's your walk, your stance, your body language, all of that gets impacted, and it really becomes a very comfortable space. So same thing happened with me. The best thing about playing Inspector Sanjana is that she's very feminine, and if you ever meet her like not in her, if you meet her like off guard or off duty, really, you wouldn't even know that she's a cop, because I think that's how real it is. I guess sometimes when you meet cops in real life, and if they're not in uniform, you wouldn't know that this person standing next to you actually holds such a high power. But you can be so unassuming. So I think playing a role like that was very exciting. The prep was a little different because we are basically just trying to be a team who's so comfortable with each other, who they've known each other for a long time, and they all come in with their different expertise onto this case. So it was more about looking like someone who has done this a lot in the past. It cannot look like this is your first case, and it cannot look like you're wearing the uniform for the first time. These sort of things. And also cops, a cop's duty or their work is very, very I'd say mentally demanding, because they have to crack like it is brain work. And that I think was a very interesting aspect of this particular role. Someone who is very expressive. At the same time, you're not saying everything in dialogue. So I guess like the prep honestly was initially you wonder if you will look like a cop, but at the same time I was never asked to put on weight. I was not told that I will dress more tomboyish or masculine because I have to fit in a team of male cops. None of these things. And that was such a refreshing change. It's like anybody, any girl, anyone can be a cop, and that I think is how the real life cops are. So yeah.
Wonderful, of course. And like how you summed it up, that wearing a cop's uniform is a lot of responsibility and it's a lot of brain work. So so was there some new facet to the job that you learned about, or maybe was there any nervousness that came with it, that you have to don a uniform and the uniform represents something? So
Yeah.
any nervousness, since the film is releasing on 26th, as we know, and any nervousness as the release approaches?
So much nervousness for sure. I think the excitement and the nervousness is really going hand in hand here right now. The before some, one of your releases comes out, it's an amazing jittery feeling. It's very, very exciting, and at the same time, like, you're sort of clouded with nervousness, especially especially because I think I've done a role like this for the first time ever. So yeah, I'm excited and nervous at the same time, because I really want to know how it will be received. I don't know myself, what I'm going to look like, and what I have done on screen. So that I'm always nervous about, seeing myself on camera. That's for sure. And yeah, I think being a cop, playing a cop, comes with such huge responsibility, especially the minute you're in that outfit. You surely feel very authoritative. At the same time, it's a wonderful feeling to begin with. So yeah, but trust me, as a cop in the film, I probably had it way easier than what real life cops face, because oh my god, their job is one hell of a thing. I cannot even imagine. Yeah.
Agreed. But let me tell you this much, that of everything that we've seen so far, you look impressively confident. So I don't think that there should be so much cause for nervousness. But
Thank you so
something for you to.
much. I think you made my day.
And hearing that makes my day. So moving on to the next question that I have for you. So the movie is obviously going up on OTT, right?
Yeah.
And so far, this is your first film, as we can say, that is releasing on OTT. So before this, all the movies have been, big screen releases. So do you see, obviously these are two very different platforms, but do you see a difference between movies that are made for OTT and that are made for the big screen? Fundamentally, any difference that you see?
Yeah, so actually, as a working experience, there is no difference as such. But sure, like you said, visually, and fundamentally, sure, there is a huge difference, because I feel like there are some kind of stories that are especially better when they're told for the OTT platform, and there are some stories which are very, very well, I think, which communicate better on the big screen, because visually that whole experience sort of, I think it is what the experience is, why you go to the theater. So sometimes for those kind of stories, like, for example, I guess we all love superhero films. We love like a Wonder Woman or an Avengers, but when you watch it in the theater, the experience is far, far, far better. It's the sound, it's the the atmosphere, it's everything. So sometimes I think films for the big screen in that sense are different, because those stories are better told on a certain medium. Whereas with OTT, I love the fact that you can experiment with anything and everything. You don't have to tick certain boxes. You can tell any story that you have, and which is why I think that's the plus side of OTT. And that's, yeah, it is kind of different like that, because you have the liberty to make all kinds of stories.
Definitely the advantage that everybody is pressing on right now with OTT is the rawness of stories that comes out. But Prachi, there's been a significant gap since the last time we saw you on screen, and when an actor is missing from the screen for a certain time, people tend to call their next project their comeback. So what I want to ask you is that, do you actually believe in the concept of comebacks? Because there are certain actors who do one movie in a year, to certain actors who believe in doing one movie in 2 years maybe. So do you think that as an actor, do you want to call this project a comeback, or do you even believe in the concept that people call comebacks?
I've always been curious about who coined this term comeback, because this actually makes me ask, where did you go that you had to do a comeback? Like, आप गए कहाँ थे कि आप वापस आ रहे हो? So I never took a bus to somewhere. मैं कोई train में बैठ कर कोई और station पे नहीं गई थी. मैं यहीं पर थी. I was very much here, so I'm not coming back from anywhere. I've been here only. I think these kind of terms are they're a little funny, but I guess like it sort of becomes easier for I guess people to give that gap or that break a word, that's why they sort of associate that with anybody who has a release coming out after a little while. But that's such a lazy job. Yeah, come up with a better term, like come up with something now. Okay. I have to say that nothing of this was decided. Like, I think as an actor, you can't decide whether, you will have a release in the next 1 year or 2 years or the next couple of months. But I was on this quest to look out for something different. Because I started young, there came a point when I felt like some kind of reinvention is needed in the types of roles that I'm doing, because I cannot keep doing the same thing over and over again. So it was like a treasure hunt, you're looking for something special now. You're looking for something that you will really enjoy, as well as somebody else watching you may like to see you in a different light. वो treasure hunt, I think it took a while, but it was worth it. Completely worth it, because my experience on this project was so good. And this is the kind of role that at least I feel satisfied and proud about, saying that whatever I let go of, whatever I said no to, and whatever I let pass, it was for this. And I think I feel fine about it. I feel good. So yeah, it wasn't planned that this will be the gap, but I think just waiting for the right role took a little longer than expected.
So what about Silence? Can you hear it? Made you say instantly, okay, this is the project that, I will put my money on, and I'll give my time to, and say that, this is the project that I will, come back with, as they say.
I'll come back to this station now. Honestly, if Silence came to me a couple of years ago, I would have instantly said yes, even at that time. I think it's the kind of role that every girl would probably like to be a part of, because somewhere in itself, it's a very powerful thing for a girl to decide who and what she wants to be, especially when you get to be a cop. And in a more male-driven industry, when you are so good at what you do, it kind of gives a lot of other people also hope to know that it's if it's your time to shine, you're going to do it no matter what. But Silence, when my director first called me, she said that I have this particular whodunit thriller. It's a murder mystery, and when she said murder mystery, I was like, oh, okay, this must be one of the the roles that you would imagine. If it's a murder mystery or a whodunit, you would think that I'm the girl who's getting kidnapped, or maybe I'm the
or the girl who gets killed, or one of those characters where its stereotypes persist. You
have so many more stereotypical I think parts that actually are out there, so yes. I was like, what is it gonna be out of that? And then she said, I want you to play a cop. I said, sorry, come back to me, what? She said, I want you to play a cop. There are 4 cops, 3 are male, there's only 1 female cop in this, and it's very, very important that she is a part of the team. And I said, I'm impressed. This sounds amazing. And she sent me the script. I started reading it at like midnight, because the script came to me in the evening or at night. I sat with it 12 o'clock, me and my laptop. I'm going over the script and I can't stop. I thought that maybe I'll read some of it, and maybe the next day, I'll know how everything else feels and I'll finish it. But I couldn't stop. It was like a page turner. I needed to know what's happening next and what's coming next. And I was really wondering, how can they... I was like, wow, this role looks too good to be true. It's a very nice role. So maybe there's a catch somewhere. But no, it was an amazing role. And throughout the film, it was just very nice. And I was thoroughly impressed. I think being a page turner for a thriller is very important, because it should keep you gripped, and never once in the story did I feel that she's ever given a task just because she's a girl, or she's not allowed to do a certain task because she's a female. No, it was a team of equals, and I think that was damn good. And I just knew it then, that I have to do this role. So the next morning I was like, hello, we are doing this. And yeah, it was an instant yes.
Okay, so the one more a very important figure in the film is Manoj Bajpayee, of course, who's helming the project. So as an act, and he has a special audience, a base that is established in the OTT space, and people kind of yes, and so am I. But there's a certain kind of expectation that is associated with his projects and all of that. But obviously we all end up reading what a prolific actor he is, and what potential performances and everything. But when you're on set with him, what was one thing that one new thing that probably you learned acting by his side in the project?
It's difficult to name just one, because I think I've already written a book on that. Like, oh, I've learned this and then I've learned that. Where is that other chapter? Wait, I've learned something else. There is so much that I've probably learned, and I think that's the beauty of an artist of his caliber, where he's weaving magic in every shot, every scene, every project that he takes up. Today, I'm a fan of his from The Family Man, and when I see him on the sets of Silence, he's a different person. I mean, it is Manoj sir, you know him, but when he becomes Inspector Avinash, he's something else, and I think that's the whole beauty of it. So there has been so much to learn. I think the most interesting was these real life instances or things, characteristics that he remembers of people, and he implies those into certain roles and scenes, but he knows which moment to bring in what and where. It's never pre-decided. He's never decided this before, but in that moment he remembers something and he feels like this is going to fit in here and look amazing. And I think he just blows your mind with his performance. So that was very, very interesting. So being like a keen listener and observer of people and things, I think for an actor, it goes a long, long way. Yeah.
Wonderful. I think, his observation skills obviously reflect in the work he does. And, really look forward to, your partnership as Cops in the movie. And yeah, one more thing about, if I may come back to the OTT platform as a medium, obviously today it's opened a lot more avenues, right? So do you look forward to doing something in the web series space now that you have a certain taste of the OTT space itself?
Oh, 100%, absolutely. I feel like this is a pretty good time, because you have so many new writers and new filmmakers who are trying their hand at different things. And I feel like when they are new, they also come in with a fresh perspective about certain things. So they're not as scared to tell a story, because they're not worried whether or how this will be accepted. They just want to give you something new. So I would definitely love to explore the web series space. I also feel like it gives you a chance to do very, very different characters. Like, there are some of our favorite actors who we watch, on OTT, but you'll always see them doing something different in every show or every film, and that's very impressive. So I would love to explore that.
And do you think the platform as such is wedging the gap? Obviously, these days actors are branded that certain actors are TV actors, certain actors are Bollywood actors, and so now there's something called OTT actors also. But do you think the platform itself is wedging the gap? And labeling actors as just actors instead of this special bifurcation that we have? Because at the end of the day, the job is just acting, right? So do you think at a certain level OTT has been able to manage to achieve that?
As an actor, I can only say I really, really hope so. I think this last year has been very unusual for everyone. So we don't know yet. Once things go back to fairly being normal. I won't say completely normal, but like when things start to normalize a little, I think then we'll get to see whether people again, start sort of labeling artists or not. Because I feel like, I don't know, do you do that to singers, or like do you do that to sports persons? I don't know, like, yeah, if you're a sports person, you are a sportsman, no matter what. And then it doesn't matter where, what, how, when you're playing. If you're a sports person, you are that. If you're a singer, you're a singer, it shouldn't matter ki aap film songs kar rahe ho ya like album songs kar rahe ho, or singles or whatever it is. So, yeah. Sometimes I feel like people give you these labels, like these tags, like OTT actor, TV actor, film actor, because somewhere it makes the person who is sort of labeling it more secure about their position and where they are, because they don't want to make it easier for you to have that smooth transition or to bridge the gap. They don't want to bridge the gap because it's easier, if you are an OTT actor, and if someone's a film actor, they want that to be weighing very differently, so that they can keep up with the whole I guess with the whole facade that is sort of attached to it. But I think now it's the time to sort of change, and we should learn from everything that's that we've seen in the last 1 year. So I think that nobody should be labeled anymore.
Definitely agreed. That is something that I fundamentally, see. And
I would, yeah, and I would really like to add that as much as I love and enjoy talking to you, and I'm sure people love, like just like they love watching you, you do these wonderful interviews with us. So I feel like I've never labeled journalists. I've never thought that, oh, because this person does this or that. I don't label them. So I don't think we should label actors also. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely there. So that is something we fundamentally agree on. But Prachi, so cinema as a space for women. You walked in Bollywood with Rock On with a certain reputation, like you were already very popular. But do you think cinema as a space since then has changed, considerably for women so far? At this point in your career. Like,
for sure.
Has there been certain evolution and hope?
I think for sure. I was actually very fortunate to do Rock On because it was a film that was a little ahead of its time. I feel like you can still watch it and enjoy it, and it could still be relevant because it hit very close to like reality. As far as, yeah, I feel like there has been a huge change over the kind of roles and the portrayal of women in general that has been, especially from then to now. I feel like probably at present we are closest to we can be to reality in terms of depiction of women and portrayal of different roles. This is the first time actually that because of OTT, at least we have a certain number of women who are playing powerful roles and who are also playing very real characters. It doesn't, of course, there is huge magic in playing fantasy characters. I mean, fiction. There's a huge. I think it's pretty wonderful to sort of create something that's never been or that's never happened. At the same time, it's very important to also realize that what the truth is about about this gender, and that I think right now is I feel we are in a fairly good space as compared to before, because I think before we were treated more like commodities, and that isn't a very good thing. I mean, it's not a good thing at all. So I think I think just the fact that a person like me is getting to play a cop in a film, that already makes me realize that yes, we are in a far better space right now, because people are giving you things that can be in real life. Women are playing sports persons on screen, women are playing pilots, cops, gangsters, everything under the sun, and that's important. Yeah, that's important.
Definitely, and wholeheartedly agree with you there. But I really feel that we still have a long way to go, and I really hope to see you in
Such a
some of
long
the.
way to go. Such a long way to go. At least we've begun somewhere, and I feel like if women can continue choosing powerful parts, I think Vidya Balan has been one of the best examples for that. The kind of roles that she chooses. I think if we can have more of those kind of statement roles, that would be the best.
Definitely agreed, and I really hope to see you in some of these empowering roles in the future. Yeah, and so for now, I just wish you the very best for Silence when you hear it, and thank you so
Thank
much for
you
taking the time
so much.
talking.
Thank you. This has been a wonderful chat. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Prachi.